Yes, sir.
So we are back at the accident scene, the spot where exactly the accident happened. On my right, you see a long stretch of the road. On my left, you see a very sharp curve, and that is where we are told that the overtaking was done, the unsuccessful overtaking was done. But there are two narratives now. Apart from the unsuccessful overtaking, the driver who survived, the driver that was doing the overtaking, has been relating to the police that another articulated truck ran over them. But the regional police command indicated, or it's indicating that they are going to keep that in their investigation as well. So look at the wreckage that is left. The vehicles or the metals that we sit in that we call vehicles, look at the end, how it looks like now. It's reduced to rubble. Yesterday, these things were flattened, nothing. So you see the tires, how the tires have been reduced to. Look at what covers us when we sit in the car. Everything has been reduced to rubble. It's a very, very sorry sight, a gory incident that really happened here.
But the unfortunate thing is that we have that curve over there. Yes. So as the articulator was advancing, then the Hyundai bus, which originated from Accra heading towards Takoradi, tried to overtake at this curve, on this stretch. And then, just at the time he was actually at par with the articulated truck, then suddenly the man diesel bus from Takoradi.
This one.
Yeah, no, that's the one. The other one, that one has been towed. Yeah.
So
this one is the red one, the Hyundai bus, which was coming from Accra. Yes.
And this was the one that
and this was the one that was doing the overtaking.
Okay.
So suddenly, just as he was at par with the articulated truck, then he now saw the man diesel bus emerge from that curve. Both of them at top speed. So the bus from Accra, on sensing danger, decided to go towards the shoulder of the road. And if you look at the road, you see that there's an embankment over there. Yeah. There is an embankment. So he tried to go to the shoulder. The other bus, the man diesel bus from Takoradi heading towards Accra, also sensing the danger. I think both of them acted almost simultaneously. Also sensing danger, also tried to avoid the head-on collision because the articulator was now on this side of the road, and then it was left with that side for them, the two of them. They both decided to go towards the shoulder.
Avoid each other.
And unfortunately.
And avoiding each other.
Yes. They both went, and that's very unfortunate. That embankment couldn't help any of them to go further than the other. So that's the unfortunate thing. Then they just met over there. Preliminary investigations have shown that it's like the Hyundai bus, this red bus, sort of turned that way on the side. It's like the bus from the man diesel bus from Takoradi, now head on, gave it to
the side.
Yeah, the side of that Hyundai bus.
So is it possible that if the bus from Takoradi, the bus from Takoradi had stayed on course, it would not have crashed into the side of this overtaking bus?
It is possible that probably the side of it, the tail part of it, because at that time the articulated truck was still on this side of the road, and so the gap there, because of the embankment, the gap couldn't have made for the two years, and because of its length, the length of the bus,
So
if it
that
was a
was
small
still
car,
on the way.
on the road, yes, on the road. So it was just unfortunate, very, very, very unfortunate, and also because of the time of the night. It's possible that the vehicle that was approaching from the other, the one who was overtaking here, did not see the headlight because he was in the curve, and possibly the lights were pointing at the other side. So at the time he saw him, he had now just emerged from the turn, and because of the speed, they were almost at each other. Yeah, it was. It is the driver from. No, the driver from this rather driver, because at
This
that
one's
yes,
okay, because the head
yes,
had gone,
yes, yes,
and this one's head
yes.
crashed
That's
into.
right. That's what
Okay,
happened.
so the
That's what
Takoradi driver died.
he died on the spot. Was one of those who died on the spot. So unfortunately, that night, the rescue team comprising the police, the fire service, had to cut through the wreckage to kind of rescue the survivors and then also recover the dead. And on the spot, those who recorded that early morning on the spot were 29, including a toddler. On the spot, yes. Yeah, that's true. So it was later on we recorded additional 5 amongst the injured at the hospital. At the hospital, yes.
A certain number also discharged.
Yeah. As for the details about that one,
That one, the Cape Coast Hospital, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital will give to us.
Yes. So right now, this morning, 20 were still on admission. Yeah. 9 at the female ward and about 11 at the male ward, and a number of them discharged. In fact, we had about 54, 56 yesterday. Yeah, but they've all been treated and discharged, except this 20. Yes. Yeah.
Commander, I'm also told that
Yeah.
a cargo car
Yes, ran over. Yes.
Yeah, we have heard that
This one is the surviving driver who is saying this.
we have heard that we will investigate it, and in fact, the MTTU who are investigating that the accident will look into that allegation as well. Yeah, because we will get in touch with the various drivers.
I've been asking myself with the emergence of this other child.
Yeah.
That whether the victims had been taken out of the bus and on the road, and at which time this cargo car drove over them, or the cargo car drove also against the buses. Against the buses, that were no evidence. And I'm also wondering whether the people at the time had been taken out of the buses and they were on the road, for which this cargo car.
Yeah, that's what he said.
If it was at that time, then it means that our officers would have been witnesses. Our officers would have been here.
It is a surviving driver who said this, because I heard it on the news.
Yeah.
Yes. So, we will actually investigate this matter. And we will do that in league with our GPLTU, the drivers union.
Okay.
For Takoradi and for Accra.
Right.
If any vehicle came with some blastings and things like that, we'll investigate it. And of course, we'll also ask around some of the residents in the communities around. Yeah, we'll investigate that angle too. Somebody brought it to our attention, but that person was telling me that it is rather one person who claimed he was a survivor sitting at the back of this vehicle, at the back seat, that he saw, a vehicle running through some of the people here. So we'll investigate that part of it. And in fact, the investigations by the regional MTTU will take on this lead, and then we'll see whether something will come out of it. Yes. Yeah.
It's a sad incident, beginning of the year, first month of the year, for us to record such an accident with what I've already referred to with monstrous dimension. That just one accident, just one. We have lost as many as 34 persons. And from the narrative given us by the regional commander, what it tells us is that if this overtaking driver from Accra end, if he had exercised patience even for a minute or two, I am sure this would have been avoided. So I want to use this sad occasion, very, very sad occasion. But this is not the note on which we should have begun this year. This should not have been the note at all. That it has happened. It is something that we cannot reverse it. But I'm sure it has happened for us as a nation to learn lessons from. And here, those at the center of it are our drivers. Just a minute patience. Sometimes even if it has to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and to save lives, you need to do that as drivers. But again, I think that as a country also, we ought to also take a look at the punitive measures and how we could bring that on board in a way to put some fear. Because if you are a driver and you drive recklessly and it results in the death of as many as 34, and somehow, some way, the system will not, if you survived, the system will not close in on you and deal with you, then where is the rod which will deter others from not committing same error? So we would have to, 2020, as a country, beginning of the year, and this sad event, we need to take a major step. So we will not come back 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later to witness a similar event. But I use this occasion on behalf of the Coordinating Council. The President himself has sent his condolences to all the affected families, the bereaved families. The President has already sent his condolences to them. But I also, with this opportunity, I send our condolences. In fact, our deep felt condolences to the bereaved families, and to tell them that it's a painful moment. It's a moment that nobody doubts. They are groaning spirit. But we share in this pain. We share in this sadness. And we can only ask our good Lord to continue to console them. That as a coordinating council, in our capacity, whichever that may be required of us to assist, to help. So we put this behind us. We'll be ready and prepared to do it. I thank you. We will now go on.